Greetings everyone, I am Sister Lilia and welcome to my armoury. So, given my love of Sisters of Battle, this has taken me way longer than it should have to get to. So, this model was, I believe, what GW used to gauge the interest in Sisters of Battle in plastic. This model isn't plastic, this model is resin. It was a pain in the ass. I don't like resin, and I don't like GW resin, and to a degree, I'm not a fan of resin entirely. I find it to be a pain in the ass to work with most of the time. Sometimes it's been fine. RTLW stuff comes pre-washed. Meaning all you have to do really is, or all you should do really is just give it a quick clean to get any oils off it from people's hands that have handled it. But otherwise it comes pre-cleaned of release agents and such, which I wish every miniatures company did that. Just make life easy for your customers. After all, they're paying you a fortune. Anyway, enough rapping on it. So, the model comes in this rather boring box. It may have had a nicer package back in 2016. And there goes a whole lot of work in progress stuff. I'm going to keep that in the video. But yeah, so here's the actual model itself. So, let's just argue with my tripod. Come on, tripod, behave. No, it does not want to behave. Okay. Got that, so yeah, you can see the details on it. I have over-detailed it. It came with a semi-detailed base in the form of the skull and bones here, the skulls here, and a little skull thing and a little rock thing she's standing on. But otherwise, the rest of it's just done from a scrap base I had. That was, I believe, a rejected project. Or was a project for another model. I didn't paint this in order of our Martyred Lady colour scheme because that's not the colour scheme. That's not the colour scheme of my Sisterhood. My Sisterhood's colour scheme is a variation on this, and I went, right, I'm going to go overboard a bit for her. Make her a bit more interesting now. I could have done a bit more work on her hair, but eh. I did apply transfers for the first time on Sisters of Battle onto the front and back of her skirt, but they may not be overly obvious. Like there is a scroll text here, and then there is the symbol up here, and then the opposite on the front. I have used yellow in places to kind of further highlight the gold. I've used washes over things to make them. I've used contrast paint like a wash on the skirt and corset to get it to behave a bit better. I used a lot of Agrax Earthshade on the base. I haven't used Nuln Oil, I don't have any. The closest thing to Nuln Oil I have is Black Wash, which is made with acrylic paint in water. I haven't used that in ages. I don't think it needs Nuln Oil, honestly. I think this looks good as it is. This model. Would I say to get it? There was a time when I would have said yes. Back when Sisters of Battle launched, we didn't have our HQ initially with the army. There was, I believe, if memory serves right, we got one HQ option and one HQ, one troop, the Retributors, and the Exorcist. And then a couple of months later, we got the rest of Wave of Year 1 stuff. At the time, I would have said get this model as a HQ option. Nowadays, the amount of hassle that goes into working with resin, I wouldn't say, unless, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't say get this model. But it is a nice model to have. The sculpts were crisp. It's some of the nicest resin stuff I've seen come out of GW, and I've seen pictures of what Finecast was like. I've never bought it because of what I saw on the internet of the state of it. And yeah, it was, shall we say, a mess. Now, what models have I got available to put next to it? So in terms of scale, okay, in terms of scale, here is how she scales with the old little Sisters of Battle. Like, in terms of size, she is bigger. Here's how she scales with the Raging Heroes model, which I think might have been their kind of size reference. Here's how she scales with the Canoness. So she's kind of around that size. Imagifier, custom Canoness I did back in 2019. Saint Celestine, let me just hold the model in a way that allows you to actually see it. Yes, this is my custom Saint Celestine that I did a while ago. At some point I'll get to doing the Gemini. Here's her with the converted multi-melter sister that I am still working on. Her with a converted guardsman, or conversion build guardsman. Her with a heavy weapons team. So you can see how much taller than them she is. Victoria Miniatures Priest that I sucked at the face on. Victoria Miniatures Guard Commander. Primaris Marine. Yeah, she's kind of as tall as Primaris. That's something. And as a bit of a wild card, a Sentinel that will be appearing on the channel. Anyway, that's kind of the size you can see of her, and here's how she compares with the McFarlane's Sister of Battle. Yes, it dwarfs her. Video on this coming soon. Oops. But yes, anyway, so this model, would I say to get it? That's the hard thing. If you're an experienced hobbyist, by all means. If you're a new player, no. Resin is a pain in the neck to work with at times, and this model is interesting to work with. I actually prefer how some of it works. Like, I prefer that the pauldrons are one piece, rather than like with most of the Sisters of Battle where they're two pieces, so they end up with a mould line down the centre of them, or end up with a split line down the centre of them. But at the same time, it is very much a mono loadout, mono pose kit. If you have use for a power sword and bolt pistol Canoness, by all means go for it. At the same time, if you really want to get creative, you could remove the bolt pistol or the power sword and swap them out for something else. At the same time, this is a nice model, and it is based off John Blanche art, so if you're a John Blanche fan, by all means, this model's for you. But yeah, this model was the model that kind of kick-started the Sisters of Battle, which is neat. But yeah, anyway, I've kind of said a fair bit about it, and I don't really have much else to say that I can think of. It's a nice model, but it's not for everyone, in that you're certainly going to have a lot easier time working with plastic than you will with resin. Plastic doesn't generally need much more than a very light cleaning before you paint it, whereas resin, you need to soak it, and you need to soak it in either degreaser or detergent, sometimes both. And mould issues have this habit of being a bit more exaggerated on resin than they do on more recent plastics. Now, older plastics like the Imperial Guard kit, there are mould lines that are quite evident, but that shouldn't be a problem for much longer, given we're getting new guard stuff soon. But yeah, I'm just going to put two commanders together. I really wish GW would give us a proper eviscerator Canoness, but that's not likely to happen because GW don't like smash captains unless they're loyalist marines. There, I said it. Space Marines are the favourite child. Look at the amount of models they have for one chapter versus how much entire other factions get. Yeah. Anyway, enough of me rapping on the Space Marines. I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, like, it is a nice model. The base itself I did kind of go overboard. I didn't realise how much detail, how much it had just kind of looked like it's there. But yeah, that's just one of the many bases I sculpted myself, and then I just put the few bits of detail that came with it on it, and they just kind of blend in, which is nice. Anyway, there we go. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. For more Warhammer 40k videos, Sister of Battle stuff, cosplay, and even video game stuff, why not subscribe? I have more stuff like this in the works. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye!